Coming up on the Sports Desk, West and North clash on the softball diamond, and now things are all shook up in the Pioneer League. And speaking of West softball, it's time to get to know pitching ace Miley Newman. Plus, it's time to get served in high school tennis. South and West battle for a league crown. All this and so much more. The Sports Desk begins right now. Welcome everyone to the only sports show designed with the Torrance sports fan in mind. You can call us The Desk. You have our permission. As you can imagine, we have lots to talk about this week, but before we do that, as always, let's do this first. Don't forget to connect with us on social media. Show us some love on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share your videos and photos with us, and don't forget to give us some ideas for future stories. By all means, you tag us when posting on social media, and we'll be sure to do the same. Ah, yes, indeed, it's fun time. Let's be honest here. This is the time of the season where the real excitement begins. For example, look what's going on with the softball teams in the Pioneer League. For the longest time, the West High Warriors were pretty much world beaters, slaughtering their competition while racking up 15 straight wins in the process. And, more importantly, remaining undefeated in the Pioneer League at 4-0. The North High Saxons, on the other hand, were quietly having a solid season, always maintaining a winning record, and only suffering one loss in the Pioneer League, and that loss, how ironic, came at the hands of West. Oh, the plot thickens. Would West stay undefeated in the Pioneer League? Or would North end their streak and move into a first-place tie with West? You want the answers? Well, you're in luck. We have them in the form of these highlights. Bottom of the first, Haley Sia at the dish, and she draws the bases-loaded walk. Cynthia Guerrero will score easily from third, and she ties this game at 1-all. Marissa Garza at the plate now, and she smokes this offering into left field. 2 runs will score on the RBI single. That's Giselle Gonzalez sliding safely into home plate. This was significant because it gave North a 3-1 lead, and more importantly, gave starting pitcher Kendra Marzarini a nice cushion to work with. Marzarini retired 12 consecutive batters after the first inning thanks to great defense like this. Nice catch by Haley Sia. North feeling good after the first couple of innings. Bella Gonzalez is stealing second, not pictured. Throw to second is off. Sia scores from third on the play, and now it's 4-1 North. West trying to rally late, 2 on for Miley Newman, and she singles to center. And then Meka English scores from third. The score is now 4-2 North, and that would be your final. North wins 4-2. Saxons pull off the upset, defeating the league-leading Warriors, which means the teams are now tied for the top spot in the Pioneer League. Wow. The other softball team making lots of noise this season is the team that currently trails North and West by a single game in the Pioneer League standings. And they are the Spartans of South High. They've been scoring runs like it's going out of style this season, averaging close to 10 runs per game. Recently, the Spartans returned home to entertain another Pioneer League foe, Leuzinger. Spartans need a win in order to keep pace with North and West in the standings. Let's see if they could do it. The Olympians of Leuzinger warming up beforehand. South starter Sofia Fernandez getting ready to take the hill. There she is. Fernandez was straight fire in this one. You're watching one of her 6 Ks right here on the day. Sofia strikes out Jade Cruz there to end the first. Now, bottom half of the inning, Sophia Delich on the mound for Leuzinger, and South High's Reagan Walsh just crushes this pitch. It bounces off the fence in left center. The first of 3 doubles for Walsh. She also had 4 hits in this thing. Very next batter, it's Haley Hayakawa, taking the first pitch she sees and depositing it into right field for an RBI single. She had 2 hits and drove in 3 runs. Walsh scored from second. Spartans up 1-0. Same inning, 2 on for Alyssa Harborkeck right there, and well, it's another first pitch hit. Alyssa slaps a rib single to left. She also had 2 hits and drove in 3 runs. Hayakawa beats the tag. Spartans led 4-0 after the first. Top of the third, Spartans up 6-zip. Fernandez still in the zone, still pitching a no-hitter. Bottom 3 now. Mia Hansen is at the dish. Sierra Daly stealing second. The throw from the plate, goes into the outfield. Tuesday Kuglin scores easily from third. And now it's 7-zip south. Watch this beautiful swing here by Hayakawa. Wow, it's a thing of beauty. It's also another rib single. It scores Hansen and Walsh, and the floodgates have already opened. 10-0 South. Spartans load the bases again. Mia Hansen with an RBI single this time. Spartans win in 5 innings by the score of 14-0. And how about sophomore lefty Sofia Fernandez? She went the distance and kept the no-hitter intact through all 5 innings, and like I mentioned earlier, finished with 6 strikeouts. Elsewhere in high school softball, Pomona Catholic snaps Bishop Montgomery's 3-game win streak. The Knights fall to 8-7 overall, 4-5 in the Del Rey League. As we mentioned earlier, the West High softball team had won 15 games in a row before losing to North. At the moment, the Warriors are 22-3 overall and 4-1 in the Pioneer League. They've spent a good portion of this season ranked in the state's top 15, and they were even top 30 in some national polls. Needless to say, it's been an amazing season so far for the Warriors, and here now is Cedric Welton to tell us how they did it.
31st in the nation, 13th in the state of California. The Lady Warriors softball team has been a threat all season long. Strong team camaraderie and continuity have been the driving force behind the Warriors' dominance this season.
I think this year we have really good team chemistry. We're all coming along together really well. We all back each other up. We know we have each other's backs, and the team chemistry is what's really bringing us together.
Just gelling as a team, honestly, like we're all here. We all know winning and losing, like we're all as a team kind of. So being able to play together and like listen to each other and just being together kind of, that's what's really important.
We're working really well together. We have hitting, we have defense, we have everything like clicking right now.
It's experience. These girls have been here before. They know what to do day in and day out. They come to practice, they're ready to go, and they have their eyes on the prize.
Coach Belcher says since losing in the semifinals last year, the mindset has been to take Pioneer League first and go further in the playoffs. Well, the Lady Warriors have been so good, they sought competition outside of California. Las Vegas, Nevada to be exact. Earlier this year, they competed in the Spring Jamboree Tournament. Oh, and by the way, they left Nevada champions.
I feel like going out there really tested our abilities and seeing how we played against teams that were from out of state, because we never played a lot of the teams because they were obviously from different states, and we really pushed ourselves.
We played really well over those games and really couldn't have asked for anything better than that. I was expecting to do really well, but that was far exceeding my expectations.
This team has only dropped 2 games all season and are now on a 14-game win streak, sitting at 3-0 in the Pioneer League, and with 5 games remaining, may finish out unbeaten in conference play.
I think that we just need to keep putting in the hard work that we all do individually and as a team, and keep the team chemistry up, because that's what's really bringing us together.
Hard work, honestly, like putting in the work. You can't just like come out here and practice. So you have to be able to go somewhere else like after practice and put it in yourself.
Well, we're expecting to win Pioneer League and then go really deep in CIF.
I hope the competition is starting to take notice, because this team is built to capture a state title. Reporting from West Torrance High School, I'm Cedric Welton for the Sports Desk.
Now, one of the players that appeared in Cedric's story is senior Miley Newman. You've probably heard of her by now. After all, she grabbed a few headlines this season, to say the very least, from tournament MVPs to Player of the Week honors, and the list goes on and on. She's garnered some attention, that's for sure, and there's a reason for this. Here again is Cedric Welton with our story.
Modest in speech, but never shy on the mound, Miley Newman has ascended in the pitching ranks each of her years at West Torrance High School. This season, she's a near lock to make history. Still, her only focus is to lead her teammates to a championship.
She puts in a lot of work, that's for sure, and she has a whole bunch of she doesn't play as an individual. She knows that we have her back, so as a pitcher that helps her a lot.
Well, Miley and I have been best friends since we were 4, so bringing this team together since our freshman year, because me, Miley, and Becca were the only freshmen, so we've really grown with this team. We've grown with Belcher. He's taught us a lot, and Miley's grown a lot too as a pitcher and as a player and as a person.
She just puts it out there every single day. She knows that it falls on her shoulders as the pitcher, the added responsibility that comes along with that, and she's excelling at it every day. And she knows, she wants it. She doesn't want to be sitting out. She wants the ball. She knows that those high pressure situations is what she's here to do, and she's conditioned to do that, and she's an amazing player.
Newman is a lead by example type of captain. Miley told me there's a lot of behind the scenes work to her game, which allows her to excel. She also explained to me how she motivates her teammates and the encouragement she receives from Coach Belcher to be her best.
I'm just very vocal when it comes to like talking to the team and stuff. Quiet is never it never works out because like nobody knows what's happening or anything. So I'm just really vocal and try to like lead from that. He keeps telling me just to like be me, and like being me is like a leader. And he's telling me to keep the work in, like keep putting the work in and having fun. Having fun is his main message to me because I like am really hard on myself.
Miley has already amassed over 400 career strikeouts and is on pace to reach 500 by the end of this season. After her high school career is over, she'll be taking her talents to Idaho State University.
As soon as she hits that, I know we're all going to be really, really excited for her, and just seeing that her hard work finally paid off as like a team and individually is really, really proud. We're going to be all really proud of her.
She's like my field general. I mean, that's what pitchers do, and good ones excel at doing that, and she's a great leader for our team.
Idaho State it's just a really homey feel there. Like, I was ready to go. I wanted to go far, but not too far. And I love the coaches and the players and the atmosphere out there. They're going to be getting somebody that works really hard and is really excited to be there.
A lights-out pitcher, leader, and locker room voice, and an athlete that's committed to excellence. That's Miley Newman, and that's what the Idaho State Bengals are getting next fall. Reporting from West Torrance High School, I'm Cedric Welton for the Sports Desk.
Cedric, thanks. And while we're on the topic of softball, it's hard to believe the regular season has come to an end for El Camino College. The Warriors wrapped up the 2018 campaign with a home contest against Cerritos College. And the season finale didn't provide the result Elko was hoping for. Despite Kayla Hernandez going 2 for 3 with 4 RBI, the Warriors lost their first South Coast Conference South Division game since the conference split into 2 divisions in 2017. And it was their first SCC loss since April of 2016 and first conference home loss since February of 2016. Elko finishes the regular season with a 31-9 overall record and 11-1 conference record, winning their second straight conference title and third in the last 4 years. All right, let's talk high school baseball now, where it's safe to say that the South High Spartans mean business, because they're certainly taking care of business, especially in the Pioneer League, where the Spartans haven't lost a game yet. South spent this past week distancing themselves from the rest of the pack, which resulted in a perfect 6-0 league record. Not to mention, the Spartans boasted a 20-4 overall record heading into their most recent game against non-conference opponent Calabasas High School. And the Spartans win by the final of 7-5. Connor Glassing had a 2-run single, and Kevin Ishimaru smacked a 3-run homer that provided to be the difference in this one. Elsewhere in high school baseball, the Saxons of North dropped a non-league contest at El Segundo. The Warriors lost to a non-league opponent when they fell to Serra in 9 innings in the Redondo tournament. And in that very same tournament, the Tartars lost to Palos Verdes on the road by a single run, and the Knights lost at home in their rivalry game with Mary Star of the Sea. Okay, in college baseball, the brooms were out for El Camino when they wrapped up their regular season at home against Compton College. The Warriors won the first 2 games of the series by the final scores of 15-0 and 13-1. Would they end the regular season with a sweep? I think the answer is painstakingly obvious. The Warriors pound Compton to the tune of 10 zip. Diego Alacon hit a grand salami in the second inning for his 4th ding-dong of the year, and the Warriors never looked back. They finished the regular season with a 24-16 record, 13-9 in conference play, which was good for second place, by the way. Next up, you guessed it, the playoffs, which will be announced soon. All right, turning our attention to high school volleyball now. where the unthinkable happened recently, and that can only mean one thing, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Yep, the undefeated South High Spartans are undefeated no longer. The perfect season came to an end with this 2-1 tournament loss to Pacific Palisades. The Spartans had won 30 straight to open the season. There's still a perfect 7-0 in league play. Elsewhere in high school volleyball, Saxons lost on the road to Culver City. In the Redondo tournament, West drops their match with La Costa Canyon. The Tartars fall to Rio Mesa. And the Knights sweep Cathedral 3-0 on senior night. As for the Lions of Ambassador, well, they also won at home by the final of 3 goose egg against Environmental Charter. All right, the Pioneer League regular season title was up for grabs in high school boys tennis when the Warriors of West High visited the Spartans of South High. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? That's because last year, the Pioneer League championship came down to these two teams, and West and South ended up sharing the title as co-champions. But this time, South has a chance to clinch if they can get the dub. The tennis courts at South High School is where it all went down on what was a gorgeous afternoon. You're watching Daniel Hermosissima. He's wearing the gold shirt. He's the number 2 singles for West. And he's taking on Saulite Choi, the number 2 singles for South. Now, Choi had beaten Hermosissima before, and this match here was pretty close throughout. You're going to see a nice back and forth right here. Hermosissima put up a fight in this one, that's for sure. The West High senior felt more relaxed this time around, especially with the backhands, and that would help immensely. Now, Choi fell behind, but refused to give up, playing his heart out, not knowing that his teammate Ryan Lee has already clinched the victory for South on a nearby court. Daniel Hermosissima won this match against Choi by the final of 6-4. But South would go on to clinch the Pioneer League title with a 10-8 victory over the Warriors. Afterwards, plenty of words were spoken, starting with Hermosissima and how he was able to defeat his good friend, Saulite Choi.
Last time we played, it was a really close match, and I lost 5-7. It was really a hard match because I played him last too, and I was even more exhausted than I was today. But this time I managed to pull through just because I was so relaxed, and I was able to actually pull the shots that I wanted to pull. It came down to just whether or not I could pull those fast, high-speed forehands in, and it turned out I could because I was just so relaxed and confident in those shots after that.
When I was playing Daniel, my strategy was to pull him off the court and then try to either fake like a shot and then hit behind his back. So that's what I tried to do.
Last time we played South beat us. We played them South again today. South beat us again, so it's looking like South will win the entire league, and West High will come in second place in the Pioneer League. Almost half, if not about half of our varsity squad is comprised of freshman players, and so that makes for some good potential to build upon as we look onward into the next season, next year.
So you're probably asking, how did South do it? Well, here's your answer. The number ones came up big for the Spartans in this one. South clinched thanks to their number 1 singles player, Ryan Keoch, sweeping all 3 of his sets, and the number 1 doubles team of Hullard Choi and Alex Kim, sweeping all 3 of their sets. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout, but whatever you do, don't go anywhere because you won't want to miss this. Coming up next, we'll tell you how Torrance High School's Maddie Watson did at the High School All-Star Surf Competition. And the postseason continues with the El Camino swim team. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Aww. You should pick that up.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk, everyone. Remember to follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Share your story ideas, post your photos and videos. We want to hear from you, Torrance. After all, this is your show, so be sure to stay connected. Okay, it's time for us to hang 10, and here is why. Torrance High School's Maddie Watson was one of the top surfers from 11 South Bay schools, surfing in the SBSSA All-Star Competition. The competition took place at nearby Hermosa Beach. Check out the pier and that surf hero and legendary lifeguard Tim Kelly watching over things. All the powerhouse teams are present, ready to charge it in the name of local glory. Conditions looking on the smaller side, but that doesn't prevent surfers from shredding on those waves. In the boys' shortboard, Torrance High MVP Ryan Brainerd and Aiden Morvis are eliminated in the first round, while South High's Parker Browning advances to win the final over Miracosta's Zach Rosenberg. On to the girls' longboard, where Sophie Arkey of Miracosta takes first place. Local surfing phenom Megan Seth in yellow would take fifth and would make a comeback in the next category. Now the best of the best in girls shortboard coming up. Maddie Watson of Torrance jockeys into a good takeoff spot and paddles like she wants it. She wins her preliminary heat in girls shortboard, automatically advancing her to the finals. Changing tide mixes things up a bit as relatively few waves were caught, but rippers will rip as Miracosta's Megan Seth is surfing on another level. Now Maddie had a shot at runner-up, but doesn't catch enough waves this time around. So Miracosta takes first and second place. Maddie would settle for fourth. As always, Maddie Watson is just happy to compete.
It was really fun having all my friends here supporting me on my last competition and having my coach here.
The swim teams at El Camino College came oh so close to winning conference championships. Both the men's and women's teams scored runner-up finishes at the South Coast Conference Finals meet. However, on the women's side, Elko picked up a couple of individual championships. These ladies you're about to see are ECC's top finishers. Claire Severts, seen here in this video from a previous meet, won the conference title in the 400 IM. She's not the only one to bring home hardware. Teammate Cindy No, doing the backstroke in this video, won a pair of titles in the 50 and 100-yard freestyle. And then Athena Katsouridis swept the diving events for a pair of South Coast Conference titles. Not too shabby. El Camino diving coach Lori Dowdy was named the conference's Diving Coach of the Year. And Elko head coach Corey Stanbury won the Swim Coach of the Year. And this young lady, Jean Liu, will join all of the aforementioned at the upcoming state championships at De Anza College. And here's a list of all the state qualifiers from El Camino. On the men's side, we got Wyatt, Aziz, and Sean. They're all headed to the state championship. Best of luck to everyone competing. All right, while we're on the topic of state championships and El Camino, two of Elko's tennis standouts competed in the state tournament recently. In singles competition, Lena Ito lost in the Sweet 16, and in doubles competition, Ito and teammate Maddie Giese lost in the round of 32. Congrats on a great season, ladies. All right, we're going to take another quick time out here on the Sports Desk. Don't move a muscle, though. Still to come. Shoot 360 here in Torrance brings everyone together, including iconic apparel companies and local sports marketing companies. We'll explain what all of this means right after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Careful not to burn that. Here, let me show you how to do it.
Well, harder than it looks.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk, everyone. We've all heard of Nike, right? The sneakers, the apparel, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. But have you heard of JR286? If not, you're about to. It's a sports marketing company located right here in Torrance. And recently, they partnered up with global icon Nike to create some cool merchandise. And what better place to show all of this off than Torrance's very own Shoot 360. And that's where we sent our very own Danny Miskell to give us the 411 on JR 286.
Thanks, AJ. Right now, we're pretty much in sports heaven here at Shoot 360. This event has so many awesome perks, from basketball gaming on the big screens to brand new Nike products that all the participants are getting to test out before they go to market. So how did they get this hookup? Well, let's go ahead and introduce you to the team of JR 286. They're in the business of licensing equipment and accessories for the biggest global brand in sports, Nike. And Nike and JR 286, who's headquartered right here in Torrance, are one partnership.
Any Nike accessory is made by us, so you can look out for basketballs, for footballs, wristbands, jump ropes, really any accessory that Nike has. We tie directly with their stories, their initiatives, and we kind of produce everything in market.
And before these products go to market, they're going to have to first have a global sales meeting. And what better way to bring everyone together from around the world than by hosting them in a space where they can put their own designs to good use.
So we have 31 distributors from around the world, and then North America and Canada salespeople here. And it's just a good event for us to bond, compete a little bit on a friendly way, and test the product as well.
And the main product to test were, of course, basketballs. This is where Shoot 360 comes in, because they have the perfect setup. You can play full court or half court basketball here, get in on one of these shooting cages, or jump on these insane virtual screens that are loaded with a bunch of different games.
We've got about 8 to 10 video games you can play either by passing or ball handling. Scores kept with the Connect coming up above the screens there. And we have the ability to compete against yourself or against other teams.
Either way, it's like being in your own video game, and that's why it's addicting. And perfect for anyone at any skill level to play.
First timer. I've never done this before. I actually didn't even know about this place, but it's just so intense. I mean, the colors and everything. We've won first place like 10 times, so that feels amazing.
What's also amazing is they hosted food trucks and even raffled off 6 seats in a suite at Staples Center. Now that's a sweet deal. And it's just one of the many ways that Shoot 360 is showing how great of a partnership they have with the community and can provide a great environment for a corporate setting.
This is one of our first forays into the corporate events, and I think that we can really help a lot of companies do something that's different. It's a non-threatening environment. Anybody at any skill level, at any age, can partake and compete, and it's a great team-building environment. Clearly, they're having a great time.
And I would tell you here, the staff at 360 has been phenomenal. Not only helping us test our products day in and day out, but this event, they've set it all up. It was very simple, very concise, and a lot of fun.
Over 200 people came out, so that's 200 more consumer insights they have about their products, from likes to performance to benefits and features. For JR 286, this was just one of the more enjoyable ways for them to bounce that consumer feedback off with each other.
Yeah, leading up to planning this whole event, it's really exciting to see people get here and have some fun. I didn't even have to push anybody to start playing, so to see everybody just kind of having fun and when hanging out with people they don't usually hang out with and seeing some healthy competition makes me happy because it looks like a successful event at that point.
We all know Nike is a global brand, but think of it this way, Torrance. The next time you get your hands on some of their new merch, you can bet that it was more than likely tested right here in your own backyard. Reporting from Shoot 360, I'm Danny Miskell with the Sports Desk.
Danny, thanks, and check this out. Danny brought back some cool merchandise that was featured right there in that story. So we got to say thanks to our friends at JR 286 and Shoot 360 for hooking us up. Check out these cool wristbands here. Nice headband. I'll be wearing these when I hoop it up, trust me. I got crazy game. Not. But at least I'll look good, so thanks, guys. All right, that does it for this edition of the Sports Desk. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your support. My name is AJ Vittone, and I've seen, heard, and said enough for 1 week. We'll continue this conversation again next week, I promise. Until then, don't forget to follow the Sports Desk on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And remember, you can email us as well. We'd love to hear from you. That's all the time we have, sports fans. We'll catch you next time right here on the Sports Desk.